Jen Shakti here on part 2 of a shamanic adventure in Tehachapi in Kawaiisu territory. I am at the Golden Hills Pictograph site, and what's wonderful is that this is a very well-known but also protected area, and I stopped by the museum after our tour at Tomokani, and they gave me written directions to this place because it is in the back of a residential neighborhood. I'll turn the camera around and you can just see how many homes are around here. But there are some very famous pictographs, and if you get the map, you can just drive right up and go down this little trail. So let's go on a quick adventure in Golden Hills. This whole trip to Tehachapi has been so wonderful, and I feel that the spirits here have just welcomed us so beautifully and easily. And at this site, it's really nice to see that it is protected, but the gate is open. So people are appreciating and looking out for this space. So way to go, community of Tehachapi. So similar to the Kauai pictograph site, this one, the accessibility is drive right up to this beautiful rock shelter. Oh wow, look at this. And here we have, this is featured in the museum. They have a de-stretched picture of this in the case.
There's more up there coming down, like in these radials.
Oh yeah.
And then there's more in the cave.
We'll take some photos so we can de-stretch it.
That looks like paint almost, though.
Yeah, that's probably more recent.
Right?
And I mean, that could be 100 years recent.
Right.
But that, you know, some of the last medicine people to work with this site. But who knows? Let's hope that maybe there are living people coming to pay homage to this site. So there's a few interesting things happening at this site. What's interesting about these boulders is that this red lichen is reminiscent of the pictograph paint, and so did native people see that as a sign of this being a sacred place? But then if we just look to the left, it's clearly a shelter, and that this would be a very inviting place. Pictograph sites are the places where the shamans would have their vision quest. So this site was discovered by two girls in 1973 when the houses in this area were being built, and they had the foresight to contact researchers in the anthropology department at UCLA, and then they came to examine this site. Now, looking back at the shelter here, there are pictographs inside, and we'll get some better photographs. But the plaque said that this site was damaged by fire. And so it's hard to know. Are these streaks natural fire marks, or is that where people were habitating? Because we see that very often in these rock shelter spots, and possibly this discoloration here was from the brush fire. But let's go inside the shelter and get some good photos. Another thing that I find interesting is the age of these pictographs. They're quite faded, and even the ones that were damaged by fire seem to be even older because they're barely discernible. I'm really eager to see how they're going to look and de-stretch. Particularly in this fenced area, but with all of this oak and pine and bedrock cropping up, there's probably mortars all through this valley. In fact, the woman at the museum who gave us our orientation this morning mentioned that she even has mortars on her property. What a beautiful place.